This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
Increasingly, we're seeing situations where fertility is being impaired by the quality of sperm. So there is a bit of debate about whether sperm quality is declining. I was listening to a senior colleague of mine whose life has been in the andrology field, in the male fertility field, and his view is that there really hasn't been a decline, albeit that would be contrary to most papers that are coming out at the moment, comparing data today with data 10, 15 or 30 years ago. And as he points out, the problem with the data is that we have changed the goalposts, that judging what is a good sperm parameter today is much more stringent than it was 15 or 20 years ago. So there's an apparent fall in sperm quality, whereas he would say, this is Professor Handelsman, would say that there really hasn't been that much of a decline. But we certainly see, and with the new parameters that we have, judging whether sperm is good or not, an increasing number of men being held partly responsible for the infertility that the couple are suffering. When we do, to find out about a sperm test, sperm quality, what we have to do is a sperm test, which is obviously a masturbated sample. We got to a laboratory within a good period of time, like less than an hour, or produced on the site is even better. And the reason that we emphasize that time span is that sperm die over time, particularly if they're not at body temperature. So when we tell our husbands or partners to produce samples at home, we ask them to bring them along with them tucked into their shirt or somewhere warm on the body, to make sure that we minimize the chances of the progressive motility being impaired. On that front, progressive motility from some laboratories is questionable, because for the big labs, and at the end point they do the test well, but if you produce a sample in my area, which is Cogra, it actually gets tested in North Ryde, which, for those of you who know Sydney, is some distance away and some time, and the courier that comes to pick it up maybe another hour or two before he picks it up from Cogra, before he actually then spends another hour getting it to North Ryde. So I'm always a little suspicious if there's a good sperm count but the motility is poor from those sort of labs. In IVF Australia, we have our own andrology labs, and the testing is and those sorts of things don't happen. The testing is very accurate. We use automated systems to count the sperm, and the andrologists are specifically trained to do it, which is the other problem with the big labs. They tend to have scientists who look down microscopes, looking at bacteria, looking down a microscope and counting the sperm. So they're not specifically trained for the job. So if you're going to get a sperm test done, get it done somewhere that is going to do it well for you, or you might be led into a false sense of a problem. So having done the test, the parameters that currently are recognized internationally, that you need 15 million sperm per mil of ejaculate. Anything above that is associated with a normal rate of fertility. So below 15, between 10 and 15, we call mild, azospermia, 5 to 10 million moderate, and less than 5 severe. And in a small percentage of cases, we get azospermia. That's where there is no sperm found at all.
And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey Podcast from the navigation menu.